Are you interested in how pleasure? This question is often asked. It was forgotten, but it holds the key to getting to know our ties with we and other people in old age. In today, we're going to talk about the truth about masturbation for older people, adults, showing both its pros and cons, possible risks. We'll talk about how this close practice can make you feel better, emotionally well-being, help keep a happy body picture, and even be a source of comfort during times of being alone. Or, however, it's just as important to take care of the risks and myths connected with too much. Getting too excited about yourself can cause being emotionally alone and other problems. If you watch until the end, you'll get a more in-depth knowledge of how to navigate this part of getting older with confidence and dear grace. This talk isn't just it's also a good idea for older people. A guide for guardians and their loved ones wanting to encourage people to talk about love and self-care in the golden years. If you haven't already, suggest signing up for and enabling the ring the bell to ensure you don't miss any videos. Thanks for your help. If you enjoyed this video, please help me keep spreading the good. If you like it, please share it with your friends. Please like what this video is about. If you don't, please leave a note. Please advise me on how I can improve. Let's work together to create better videos now. To begin, let's go on a deep and a thorough look into the myriad myths about having fun in old age, bringing attention to the often forgotten. The truth about how this private business works can have a big effect on the lives of people who do it, both in uplifting, in interesting, and sometimes tough ways. Exploration is especially important for adults figuring out the rich complications of the second half of their lives, where how closeness and connection change over time. And changes can happen to personal happiness. These big changes don't invite not just new talks, but also a deeper understanding of the many sides of pleasure in relation to getting older. To really understand how important masturbation, we need to get to the heart of it and understand that it's not just it is a physical act that includes a number of the psychological and mental aspects. People of all ages can enjoy this exercise. Cultural differences. Taking pride in extraordinary ability to make muscular pleasure while at the same giving a much-needed break from having deep connections all through life. A journey for many people, the masturbation experience is one of a kind, personal, and can show up in different forms that make it a useful practice. At all stages of life, even the best years, it can act as an important source of having self-empowerment. Lets people take back control of their bodies, and as a form of self-care, they want it. And affirmations that should never be ignored, because it could lead to develop a greater respect for getting love from one's own body, and respect that can be deeply changes things in a world that often stops people from talking openly about taking back such private topics. Practicing can feel like an act of refusing to follow social rules, and the claim that desire and pleasure do not fade away with age, but can grow into something lovely, and giving us freedom as we go through at different times of life. Our bodies inevitably go through a number of natural changes that happen to our hormone systems and have an effect on our physical. These changes can radically change our relationship with older people who want to have fun and seduce. Masturbation can be a way for people to get back in touch with one's own body, as a way to accept the close things in life that might have become shaded by age or social norms. Levels of expectancies, even though naturally, make testosterone and estrogen drop as people age, causing changes in how often and how strongly sexual want. It's important to stress that want doesn't just go away into thin air. Instead, air changes and takes on new forms, often strange shapes that can be just as satisfying. In this case, it looks like masturbation is a beautiful and empowering chance for people to look into and rediscover their pleasure, freed from the restrictions and the stresses that often come with intimate. When you're young, dates are an invite to get back in touch with oneself on a deeper sense of support, finding out about yourself and looking into in a way that shows love and affirmation. In this way, people can build a deep sense of closeness, not just with they were with, but also with the depths of their own feelings and wants. So let's look into the myriad advantages for your body and mind sex for people in their later years. After years, more and more medical research has shed light on the many of good benefits that regular self-stimulation can do to the body. First, this practice is very important part in keeping the blood flowing in the groin area, could possibly keeping tissues from shrinking from lack of use. Self-stimulation also sets off the release of endorphins, these happiness hormones, not possible without. for reducing stress and improving general mood. Just think of the happiness this practice brought. A simple but deeply moving act that goes beyond mere physical pleasure, that makes you feel like relief, that can make things a lot better. Quality of sleep is an important part of being healthy at this point in life, where peaceful sleep can sometimes feel elusive. The thought of going through such, it warms my heart to see happiness and joy, emphasizes how important putting one's own wants and needs first in a world that feels overwhelming, not to mention the physical. The perks of masturbation can be changes on a psychological level. Masturbation is a strong method to find out more about yourself and gain power, boost self-esteem, and encourages a good body image, both of which are especially important because many seniors face the facts of getting older in a world that shows getting older in a bad light, where young people are admired and getting older as a normal thing is sometimes looked down upon. Masturbation can help people get back control of their lives' bodies. It makes us feel good about connecting to oneself, making it possible people to accept their desires without fear or shame, which can be a cool act of self-love. And being open to this journey toward accepting yourself is not only important for their own health, but they can also be an example for other people. Taking on social stories that lessen the value of happiness for older people age though. As we go through this, we have to approach the complicated world subject of too much or too often masturbating with care in old age, and being sensitive like any enjoyable. There is the possibility for activity to become habit-forming, which leads to unexpected effects on the body. Hypers can happen when you overindulge. Pain in the pelvic area caused by sensitive nerves could make you feel bad, or a slight loss of feeling. While these, not all effects last, but some can make people dependent on more stimulant to get the same amount of. Sometimes joy leads to feeling of anger or stress. A rather sad loop that many people may find difficult to break. This part of the talking is important because suggests a fair way to deal with pleasure that knows both of its perks and possible problems, the real consequences of masturbating too much more than just physical effects, and look into the feelings. And I have seen inner realms firsthand, how some older people maturation as a way to deal with their feelings get away. Especially when you're struggling with having feelings of loneliness, worry, or depression that often comes with the process of getting older. As social connections or family ties get weaker, masturbation can give you a short-lived high, a break from these heavy feelings. If it's the only thing that makes you feel better, it might unintentionally make feelings of being alone instead of looking out for companionship, love, or mental support. People who need help may retreat into self-stimulation that leads to being farther away from the world. This loop can be around them, bad for your health in general, making people feel alone, which may feel impossible to overcome and sad. It makes the point of how important taking care of more than just your body wants and also their mental needs. Putting the focus on the need for a plan for health and happiness. What medical research says about masturbation in old age? From a medical point of view, masturbation isn't bad in and of itself. But balance is very important. As with any habit, a study shows that older adults who are compulsively people who masturbate may have physical and mentally worn out, making their daily energy less useful, also levels in overall vitality. Too much self-stimulation can make drive to take part in other important things to do, like physical exercise, things that are necessary for keeping your cardiovascular mobility, health, and well-being in general during later years. It's important to make a balance, making sure that the desire of having fun for yourself doesn't come at the cost of a full and busy life. Lifestyle is another important factor, ECT, that should be carefully considered. This is how masturbation can change. During this time, human relationships, when it comes to age, it's true that many people who live alone may turn to masturbating to get what they want sexually. But for those who have partners who do too much self-stimulation, can present a big problem for shared. I have experienced a lot of closeness cases where masturbating often swaps the search for closeness for a partner, making you feel mental and physical rifts that can be hard to deal with. Find a better mix between self-study and shared closeness is necessary to make sure that masturbation does not get in the way of caring important relationships with other people. After people naturally want to interact with others, animals, and their need to connect, love, and care for the heart do not lessen with age. In fact, it often even more important as we navigate the difficulties of getting older. Building good relationships with partners about their wants and needs can improve ties, which leads to more satisfying and helpful relationships. This talk can help bring people together. Each person explored and shared encounters that make a place where both partners feel cared for and linked, encouraging people to talk openly about wants for happiness and how important intimacy can make ties stronger. As we all know, that love and bond will always be there, things that make our lives better. In conclusion of the talk about having fun and being close in old age is not only important, it is necessary. By casting light on the truth of masturbation, we can help get rid of the myths that make this subject hard to understand. People to follow their goals in this trip, put their health first, toward learning and accepting yourself, can make lives better, build relationships, and in the end, lead to a more satisfying life. Having an event in your golden years is a proof to how strong people are. Spirit and our never-ending search for happiness connect with each other, even when life's problems, by fighting for the value of all kinds of pleasure, can give people the tools they need to lead more inspirational lives full of color and meaning, for future generations to enjoy the beauty of their paths to getting close, self-discovery, and happiness on a physical and mental level. The act of masturbating too much can cause a wide range of strong emotions, especially shame and guilt, that weighed heavy on the hearts of those who growing up in places where talks about sexuality were full of shame and taboo. I have had the honor of listening to a lot of seniors bravely. I'm always happy to hear their stories, struck by the touching internal problems they talk about, and describe being torn between the happy feelings of the heavy weight of regret and the happiness that stays in the background, like this is a shade that won't go away. There isn't just inner turmoil, and being alone can deeply and powerfully affect how they feel. Overall happiness, leading to a tough, most of the time painful friendship with their bodies, and once what the effects of the fight can spread to other places, lowering their feeling of self-worth, name, and even how they connect with each other when with close ones. It's important to that desire. Even in old age of life is normal and helpful, something about the human experience that should never be bound by shame, or we feel shame because it's part of who we are. A basic reflection of our humanity that needs to be accepted and celebrated. The story behind the sexuality needs to change in a big way. That leads to acceptance and understanding that honors the bright, beautiful, and varied ways in which people can express their wants. No matter what age they are, we must work to make the world a place where it's not only okay to enjoy closeness, but loved, letting everyone, in particular adults, can enjoy everything that life has to offer. Of this problem gets worse when we think about that. If masturbation turns into a way as a replacement, mental escape for real connection with other people, and in order to interact, it may become important for people to look for other types of help. With this isn't just a matter of not just physical health, but also mental health. Therapy for food, or the loving, the company of family and friends, can offer deep benefits that self-stimulation can't do. These connections are important lifelines that let people to get back in touch with others and build ties with people that bring you. Many people find joy, comfort, and deep satisfaction. In some situations, having a helpful network can be very useful. Acting as a balance to thoughts of being alone and feeling alone that can take over one's. As a result, it makes life better in ways that self-stimulation alone not give us a way to remember that you're not alone in this big, sometimes world is too big. Are there any long-term health risks linked with this behavior? Needs to be stopped right away. There are some lies that keep going around, myths about masturbation in old age that can scare people with pointless fear and worry. There isn't any good medical. There is proof that masturbation causes long-lasting harm to the sexual organs or speeds up the aging process. Besides that, there is no proven link somewhere between pleasure and severe things like prostate cancer or important sexual problems. These misconceptions can keep a loop of fear and shame that keep people from people who have the ability to embrace. They can enjoy their sexuality in a healthy way. Why this fear can make people not talk, set up boundaries that last a lifetime. Sense of shame about something that should make you happy. If you are, you can still watch this movie and find these. If you found these lessons helpful, please leave a review below to let me know you're still here. Having said that, as I said before, mentioned that too many efforts can sometimes make people physically tired, and sometimes for a long time, libido going down. But let's move on. Go back and look at the story again. It is important to stress that masturbation old age isn't just a normal practice, but only when used in moderation can lead to big benefits for both the mental and physical health. Not only does it support good blood flow and the flexibility of vaginal tissues, but it also acts as a safe place for emotional comfort during times of stress or worry. We can see this behavior as a strong message that having fun and being close are important parts of being human. No matter what age, working as a balm for the soul during rough times. In conclusion, we need to put caring, having honest talks about sexuality, and having fun breaking down the walls that hold people back from fully accepting their wants. It's through this, talking about how we can change society, norms, get rid of dangerous myths, and a better understanding of closeness by, in this way, we can enjoy the beauty of being intimate with other people in any way, whole group, especially our loved older adults, to feel free to explore their bodies and give them important connections with other people. And it's not just, having sex isn't just about having fun, and the truly amazing variety of human, no matter what age. We owe it to ourselves and to each other to build a setting where each person can feel safe, important, and free to follow their wants without worrying about being judged, ridiculed. Let's make the world a place where is aware of and values the deep link between having fun and taking in the truth about well-being. Love and closeness can and should be lively parts of our lives no matter what age. Thanks for being here with us. A thoughtful look at closeness, and we've looked into pleasure in old age. Some important facts about the job of masturbation can help with both emotional good health and well-being. It's important to understand that as our understanding of closeness grows, and the ideas we talked about today can allow us to accept this part of living our lives with honesty and trust as we. Finally, I want to hear what you think. How much have you learned so far that spoke to you the most? Please take a moment to talk about something you've learned from this video that you're going to bring your thoughts, and having skills is very important to us and can help build a strong community for everyone who is figuring out the difficulties of getting older and being close. Also, don't forget, if you found this video valuable, please leave a message below. Don't forget to follow, like, and share. Go to our YouTube feed to see more, adding to the tools and discussions made just for your journey. We can break down the walls even more about these important issues and encourage people to have better talks about taking care of your old age. Until next time, come along with us on the journey of getting older with joy and courage.